Baltimore is looking at a dire economic forecast. According to a 10-year forecast commissioned by the Baltimore city government, major financial reforms will be needed to steer clear of a projected bankruptcy. The report projects that the city will accumulate $745 million in budget deficits over the next decade. This is due to a widening gap between projected revenues and expenditures.
Other expenses for infrastructure and obligations for retiree health benefits can push the city's budget shortfall to as much as $2 billion over the next 10 years. That's almost as much as the city's annual operating budget of $2.2 billion per year.
At her recent State of the City address, the mayor of Baltimore spoke about budget concerns.
We cannot build a foundation of a growing city on the mud of a fiscal swamp. The status quo is unacceptable, and the price of inaction is clear. We must change to grow.
By taking steps proactively, Baltimore hopes to avoid the fate of Jefferson County, Alabama, and Stockton, California, two municipalities that recently filed for bankruptcy. But each city has unique challenges. Baltimore City Councilwoman Ricky Spector sees population decline as a key issue.
Since we have lost population and the piggyback tax that you pay to the state goes to the jurisdiction where you sleep at night, not where you earn it. So Baltimore City, being the economic generator of the state, where billions of dollars are earned in the city but don't sleep in the city.
The mayor recently outlined plans to tackle the fiscal challenges the report highlighted.
The deficit is largely driven by growing health care and pension costs. We must rebalance the way we compensate our hardworking employees.
But this report is just a projection of the future. It doesn't reflect the current state of the city's budget. According to a lead author on the report, the city is in the black.
The city's not in a current crisis. At the moment, the city's budget is balanced for the current year. Over time, the city has built up reasonably healthy reserves.
There are some who question whether this newly released projection is the reason for the proposed budget cuts, or if this report was commissioned in order to justify cuts that were already in the works.
Detective Robert Cherry, head of the Baltimore City Police Union, dismissed the report as a political effort. He told the Baltimore Sun, "What's going on here is all a smokescreen. They don't know what the tax base is going to look like. Their consultants asked to come and deliver bad news so that the city can do political posturing." Furthermore, Chris Delaporte, a former Baltimore City Recreation and Parks Director, sees the forecast as window dressing to direct attention away from a serious lack of financial oversight.
The firm that did this work had no facts and basis, had no audits. It had nothing to go on. So it's a very peculiar thing to have a firm be paid $450,000, make a projection over 10 years about the fiscal reforms needed, and never mention in the report the necessity of beginning to audit the agents. And that's why, in effect, I discredit the whole report.
This report was designed to address the financial issues that plague the city. But the question now is whether this forecast will lead to positive changes or if it's just politics as usual. In Baltimore, Justine Underhill, RT.